What is up, guys? Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So the markets did well today. S&P 500 went up 0.5%, Dow Jones up 0.2%, NASDAQ 100 went up 1.3%, and the Russell 2000 went down about 0.3% on the day. And today we're going to be talking more about the markets, breaking down some technicals, going over a bunch of stocks to buy now. And I also want to share with you guys what I did in the stock market today and in general where my head is at as a trader and as an investor. So if you guys find value, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, make sure to join that Discord chat and Facebook group. Get yourself 4 stocks from WeBull and $30 from M1 Finance. All of those are free and linked right down below in the description box. So let's get into it, guys. Markets were pretty volatile today. You guys can see S&P 500 gapped up over 38.10 this morning. We actually broke that double top resistance from yesterday's session right around 31.10. We broke out of that, like I said, and you guys can see this is where the volatility started. I mean, take a look on the intraday chart. We sold off again above 38 or gapped up above 38.10. We sold off after that back to 3800, back up to 3820, back down to 38.10, back up to 38.20, and then we collapsed all the way to almost 37.80 flat. And then we rallied for the rest of the day, forming this little V-shape recovery, I guess you could call it. And we ended up hitting an all-time high. Isn't that crazy? Yet again, all-time high here on the S&P at 3826.69. And take a look here, and let me show you what I'm looking at on this. I think it was the 5-day. Maybe it was the hourly chart. No, it was the 5-day. Take a look. Like I said, we collapsed midday down to about 37.80. Would you look at that? Where did we hold? We held right over this old resistance from 2 days ago at 37.80. We held that as support at a higher low. The uptrend held, and again, we ended up ripping off of that low and hitting that all-time high. So overall, when it comes to the S&P on the 5-day, 5-minute, and pretty much on every time frame, the bulls are full head of steam in charge. And that's what I'm seeing. And it doesn't look like that wants to change. And sure, it could change. I mean, we could see a pull down. But as of now, with what we're seeing, bulls are in charge. And I guess you could say, all right, there is a little bit of a bearish divergence here between the RSI and the S&P. I mean, take a look here. We're hitting higher highs in the RSI or in the S&P as the RSI is declining. Let's take a look if we see that on SPY as well. Probably, yeah. You see it right there on SPY as well. So take a look. I mean, yeah, we are killing it. Markets are crushing it. But we're seeing some signs of maybe a pull down coming soon. We see a bit of bearish divergence. Maybe we do see a little drop to maybe 370 SPY. And when it comes to S&P 500, that would put it right around 3,700. I mean, I think that could be a healthy pull down area, and heck, even lower here on the S&P 500 index, probably down to about 3,650, 3,600 even. I think that would be great. But overall, that's kind of what I'm looking at here. And when it comes to the Dow Jones Industrial Average, did we hit an all-time high on this one? I don't even know. Let me double check. No, we didn't. We did yesterday at 31,190. That's right. And we actually broke under that support we talked about yesterday, and that was actually a resistance from the previous day, right around 31,000. That's where we double topped 2 days ago, and we held that as support yesterday, which was great. And I said for today, watch that to hold that support, and that did not happen very clearly, right? We ended up dumping off, but we're still overall in an uptrend. If I redraw this, I don't know why I drew it like that, but if we see this right here, take a look. This technically held a higher low as well and recovered back over that 31,000 resistance. I'd say, and I'd argue, that this is a very bullish close on the Dow. So shout out to the markets, guys, market makers today. They were crushing it, right? So yeah, and for Monday and next week in general, we got to watch 31.93, this all-time high, 31.193. If that breaks, of course, there could be more upside. And the NASDAQ 100 did pretty well today, better than all the indexes, other ones at least, that we track here on the channel. And that's on the back of big tech doing well. Google up over 1%, Microsoft up 0.6%, Netflix up 0.3%, Amazon up 0.6%, and Apple up almost 1% on the day. And you guys can see a lot of the same technicals that we just talked about for the Dow and the S&P here on the NASDAQ, right? We held a higher low on the 5-day, 5-minute, right over that 180 SMA, and we ended up rallying from that point, hitting an all-time high. And I guess, yeah, today was the first day. Milestone was hit. First day that the NASDAQ 100 ended up going over 13,000, which is absolutely crazy. So, yeah, big tech is killing it right now, needless to say, guys. And same with the S&P. I mean, we are seeing a bit of bearish divergence here, so watch out for that. Maybe we do see a pull down in the next coming weeks, 1-2 months. I mean, we did talk about that a couple videos ago. It was really more like a week, 2 weeks ago, back when 2020 was ending, literally at the end of December. I said that I wouldn't be surprised if we did see a bit of a pull down in Q1, maybe Q2 of 2021, but who knows? I could be wrong, guys. Nothing is set in stone. Obviously, nobody knows what's going to happen. And before I forget, we got December jobs numbers today, guys. Non-farm payrolls fell by 140,000 in December against the consensus estimate for a 50,000 job gain. So that was a bit of a disappointment. And again, we just covered what the market did, and the market went up other than the Russell. So it seems like the market, honestly, guys, doesn't give a crap about this, but we got pretty bad, I'd say, December jobs numbers, and we got the unemployment rate. The unemployment rate is at 6.7% right now. And in terms of the job losses, we're seeing a lot of job losses, some job gains, but we saw in terms of hospitality that actually accounted for most of the job losses, as bars and restaurants, they are still getting hit right now. And if you guys want to look deeper into this, go look it up on Google. It'll show you what every industry gained or lost in terms of jobs. And overall, when it comes to jobs in general, the increase of jobs to the economy has been slowing ever since, May or something like that. And there is a chart here. I don't know if I'm going to edit this video, but there is a chart that shows how many jobs were added in May or June or one of those months. It was a lot. And ever since then, it's been steady declining. And that makes sense because back in May, June, that's when we got that initial snapback, and it's been declining since then. So we'll see how it goes down, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I would love to know. If you guys are enjoying the video, don't forget, if you haven't hit the like button, just do it right now. Don't forget to hit that like button. And let's talk about what I did. And honestly, guys, there's a lot of opportunities today that I just didn't take, in particular with NEO. There was a lot of money made with NEO today. Shout out to everybody that did trade this one before NEO Day, which is tomorrow. And I was eyeing it up, but I didn't take the trade, to be honest, because I made a good amount of money, which satisfied me for Friday, especially being the end of the week. And considering I already had a pretty good week this week, I made a good amount of money in the morning where I was like, I don't even want to force this NEO trade. I want to see how NEO Day goes. And if we see a sell-off on Monday, maybe that'd be great. And maybe I can get in on Monday, Tuesday. And if not, if I miss the move to 65 or whatever, who cares, right? Because I already made money on NEO. And again, like I've said before, I'm still in a long-term position with NEO. But what I actually did today is I day traded SBE in the morning. And let me tell you guys, and I actually was calling this out on, did I put it on Twitter? I don't think I did. I think I put Alibaba on Twitter earlier. But I was calling this one out in the Discord chat pre-market. And I didn't get in pre-market, but I actually put in an order for market open, and I ended up, or once the market opened, I put an order, and I ended up getting filled at 41.65. This thing, I just had a feeling with how bullish it looked pre-market. And like I said yesterday, I mean, we called this out yesterday as well. I said this is one that didn't run as much as other EV type of plays yesterday, and I was saying I think there's more left in the tank with SBE even after today's move. And I was saying that pre-market, and you guys can see, look at what we were looking like pre-market. It was a beautiful breakout pattern. This is an ascending triangle. We had resistance at $41, the double top resistance we talked about yesterday, and we were uptrending into that resistance in pre-market. And then it was really early in the pre-market session that we broke out of that resistance and we held it as support. Look, we held 41 as support for all of the pre-market session pretty much. And that is where I was like, all right, this is one worth taking a shot on. Put an order at open. And once it opened, guys, this move was like 2 minutes. No joke. And with moves like this, you got to be quick. You got to be concise. You can't be dilly-dallying. You got to put in your order quick, boom, 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 and you got to get out. And that's what I did, right? I put one in again at 41.65, and take a look at this spike. And you guys know, if you were watching it with me this morning, again, it was 2 minutes, it was quick, it was insane. And I ended up getting out at about 42.50. So the move was literally less than a minute, maybe a minute and some change, but it was that type of move, in and out, right? And I locked in percentage-wise, I don't even know, probably a little bit over 2%, I would say, with this move. Right around 2% on that move. Yup, hit that daily goal, and that's what I did today, guys. No joke. And again, I could have got into NEO. We'll talk about NEO. Actually, let's just talk about it right now. I could have got into NEO. We saw this big pop in the morning. We saw this inverse head and shoulder. Now that I'm looking at it, we broke out of that. So if you caught this move, kudos to you. That was great. And then we rallied all the way up to about $60. And I could have caught this move as well, but I didn't. And again, it goes back to what I say all the time. Over trading is crazy sometimes. I mean, you can get caught in this loop where, yeah, you could win 2 in a row, but if you win one, you miss the next. And if you're more of a beginner, especially, not saying that I'm a beginner, but hypothetically speaking here, guys, if you're more of a beginner, that gets you in a loop of like, all right, I got to trade here to win that back and do this, do that, the third. So I don't like over trading that much. And I'm done talking about NEO, guys. But we'll make a video for sure on Saturday. Maybe, probably not on Saturday. I might be going to the beach this weekend, so maybe not. And you guys are like, Stas, it's January. What the heck are you doing? Well, sometimes you got to go away, guys. So we'll see. Sunday, I might make a video on NEO Day, maybe Monday. We'll see how it goes down. But overall, shout out to everybody that did catch this move. And let me know in general what you guys did do in the comments. I would love to know, as always, what stocks you're playing, what stocks you're watching. And now let's get into some stocks I'm watching, which I'm sure you guys are also keeping your eyes on. Number one here, and I forgot to mention this yesterday. I was being a dummy. I don't know why I didn't mention this. Number one is a SPAC from good old Chamath Palihapitiya, man. And by the way, did you guys see that Peter Schiff tweet yesterday? God, I was dying when I saw that. What did he say? Because Chamath was on CNBC talking about Tesla or something, how it could double or something like that. And then Peter Schiff tweeted at him. It was so funny. Peter Schiff tweeted at him. He was like, what did he say? He was like, some nonsense, or not, he was like calling him nonsense or something like that, or he made a reference to the 2008 financial crisis or something like that. And then Chamath replied to that tweet with, he said, F off, Peter. It was, oh my God, I was dying when I saw that. That was super funny. But yeah, he's leading this SPAC. There's a lot of SPACs he's leading. And this one's actually taking SoFi public in an $8.65 billion deal. And this is actually the latest blank check company from venture capitalist Chamath Palihapitiya. And this is actually an online personal finance company, if you guys didn't know that. And this actually came directly from him. He said, SoFi's innovative member-first platform has demystified financial services for millions of Americans and simplified the process for those looking to apply for loans, invest their money, obtain insurance, and refinance their debt, among many other tasks that were previously arcane and needlessly complicated. So this is interesting, right? They're taking one of the premier, quick-growing, personal finance companies out there, being SoFi. And personally, guys, I don't use them. I don't have experience with the platform. I'd love to know if you do. Let me know in the comments down below. But that caused a lot of hype. I mean, this thing doubled almost in one day from 12 to 24. And if I covered it yesterday, I mean, I would have told you guys, don't chase this, right? It was very overbought, crazily overbought. It might pull down, and I would have said that yesterday. And even now, I'll tell you, it could go down even further, right? It went down 2%. I mean, it's already dropped almost 20% from that $22 peak. So I'd be careful. But overall, I'm bullish on this, right? From the little research I've done from SoFi and understanding Chamath's background, his success with other companies, and honestly, I really believe in him. I mean, I've done and watched a lot of interviews on him, done research and so forth. I really believe on him, but honestly, I do have to do more research on SoFi. But again, with the limited research I did, I am leaning a little bit bullish, but to go fully convicted, all-in type of bullish, I got to do a little bit more research, and I'll get back to you guys on that. But IPOE, technically speaking, it's got to be watched. Whether we bounce off of 19, maybe back up to 21, 22, that could happen, or if we break this and maybe sell off to 15, 14, 13, which would be crazy, but it's not off the table with these SPACs. A lot of them do that. And, that would be a great dip buy probably, in my honest opinion. So I'm watching IPOE. This is interesting here. Alibaba is another one, which this is the one I actually shouted out on Twitter. And if you guys don't follow me on Twitter, it's @StasSurfS, and Instagram, it's @StasSurfS. If you guys want to follow me on there for call-outs, daily updates, and so forth. And if you guys just want to keep up with me throughout the day. And we talked about on this intraday chart, and this is the funny thing, or actually no, on the 5-day, 5-minute. This is the funny thing, guys. This is another one of those that I called out and I didn't play. And I've mentioned this before, running a YouTube channel, Discord, and, going on Twitter, Instagram all the time, talking about stocks, whatever. You talk about a lot of stocks, you call a lot of them out, and it's not possible to play all of them. So if you guys caught this, kudos to you. You made some money. Awesome. But we called out this head and shoulder, the inverse head and shoulder, left shoulder here, head right here, right shoulder here. And I believe I tweeted it when Baba was at like 230. I was like, watch out for this right shoulder to complete. And it did exactly that. And again, I didn't catch the move, but if you guys did, that's good for me. I'm really happy if you guys are doing well with Baba. And it completed that right shoulder. And now is going to be the tricky part, guys. Are we going to fail breaking out of 240, right? 238, 240. That is where we are seeing resistance as of now. And that is a resistance from back on the 6th of January. So watch out for that. I mean, we could end up seeing a sell-off here based on this pattern right now, the way it's tuning out. But if we break out of 238, that's a different story. We could be going 240 plus. And let's take a look. Maybe on the hourly chart, we can get a bit more info. I mean, this is also interesting, right? We're at a higher low. We made a higher low, but we're also making lower highs. So we're also in this wedge. So watch out for this wedge on the hourly chart and that little inverse head and shoulder on the 5-day, 5-minute. And Home Depot, if you guys like going short, if you like playing put options, this could be one for you, as we do see a descending triangle forming here on Home Depot. You guys can see it's making lower highs into that support at about 263. If this gives, Home Depot could drop maybe a couple percentage points, no doubt about it. I mean, there was a stock we called out a couple weeks ago that played out beautifully out of the descending triangle, but I can't really remember what that stock was. Again, going back to all the stocks I talk about here on the channel, but this one's textbook descending triangle. If it breaks under 263, watch that drop, but also it might not break under 263, and honestly, it's down about 30, 40 bucks from its all-time high, more like 30 bucks. And if we break out of these moving averages, we could see a big move back up, maybe about 5, 6, 7%. So this one could go either way, but I'm leaning more towards a drop based on the descending triangle that I'm seeing. And another SPAC here, guys, is SRAC, also known as Momentous, being taken public from by Stable Road Acquisition Corp. And this is actually a company I made a video on, about 3 months ago, and it was trading at $10 there. I wish I went heavy as heck back then, but I didn't. And now it's up almost 2x from there. It actually did 2x, but now it's down about 25% from its peak. 25% is holding that higher low. It's holding that 180 SMA on the 4-hour chart. And we have to see if it could squeeze higher here. I think this could be a dip buy, honestly. Maybe we do end up seeing a move up to $18 next week, which is the resistance from back in the beginning of December. Maybe we make a move up to maybe the high 16s, which is a resistance from a couple days ago. You guys can see it here from the 5th, 6th of January. So I think SRAC is definitely worth watching on this dip. I like it. Fastly is another one, FSLY, which, let me see what's going on here, guys. This is interesting, right? We actually called this out, or we talked about this rather, when we saw this head and shoulder here a couple months ago. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Then I feel like we have an overall head and shoulder, and then head and shoulders within the head and shoulder. It's like head and shoulder mania over here with Fastly, guys. Unbelievable, right? You guys can see it. And at this point in time, it looks like we're struggling at the neckline here on Fastly, right around $98, $99, right? That's where we struggled back in that first head and shoulder within the head and shoulder, right? Right around this left shoulder, we struggled at $98, $99 once, twice here. You guys can see it. And we're struggling there again. In fact, we're under that level by $10. So that worries me a bit, honestly, to go long here on Fastly. And I'm not saying I'm completely bearish on it, because it seems like here in the short term, if we go on the 20-day chart, it is slowly breaking this little downtrend from the past couple of weeks, right? You guys can see that. That is a good sign that it's trying to break out. But in the overall trend, it still worries me a bit. So I'd give it some room. I'd give it some time. But then again, now that I'm looking at it, it could see a move from $88 to $99 again, which could be a nice move of about 10% before it retests that neckline, which again is right around $98, $99, which we just talked about. So I think there could be some upside here, but be careful if you guys do get caught in that right shoulder collapse. Maybe if it goes back to the 70s, that would not be something I'd want to be a part of. So be careful there. Netflix is another one, NFLX. This one is pretty much just chilling, didn't do much, up 0.3% today, and it's actually sold off quite a bit, down about $30, $40 in the past couple of days, down about 7%. And what you guys are noticing is we're trading right around the resistance, a general resistance that we've seen here over the past couple of weeks, right? Mainly ever since, more like the past couple of months, honestly, mainly ever since, the month of July, a little bit in June as well. So you can see, or mostly in July, and like August all the way through November, that's where we struggled, right around 510. And again, that's where we closed right now today as support. So I'm watching Netflix to see if it could take over 510, 515. I think if it can, this could be a dip buy, really, and the chart shows that. I mean, we are recovering right over this 180 SMA, and we have earnings coming up, which honestly could act as a catalyst to pushing this stock. And me personally, and you guys know this if you've been following me for a while, but for the newer viewers, now that we're getting into earnings season, I don't like buying stocks before earnings and just riding them through earnings hoping they do well. That's not my game. I actually like waiting until after they report earnings, even if that means I miss the move. That's fine with me. But if they report earnings that are solid, great growth, great guidance, that's a big thing. If they do that and the stock doesn't move much or pops a little bit and I can get into the momentum, that is what I'm waiting for. That is what I'd much rather do. So Netflix, watch out for those earnings coming up in 10 days from now, 10, 11 days. And the last one here is Lemonade. Gosh, this stock, guys, has been ridiculous. It's gone up a ton, especially in the past couple months. And even today, it's gone up. It went up 5.6%. And a couple of days ago, it was trading at 120. So it's gone up even more in the past couple of days than just 5%. And at this point, yeah, you could argue this is a bit overbought. But there's a lot of momentum. So that's why I'm watching it strictly as a momentum play. If it's able, and even earlier today, this would have been perfect, right? And again, I missed this. But this would have been perfect, right? We got momentum up to 165. It pulled down to 145. That would have been a great time to get in. And even later in the day when it got to 170 almost, pulled down to 150, that also would have been a great dip buy. So Lemonade is worth watching on this momentum. If we get to pull down maybe to 140 again, 145, maybe even somehow 130, 135, that could be a great entry point in my personal opinion. So that is it for the video, guys. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure to get yourself 4 stocks from WeBull down below, $30 from M1 Finance. That is also linked down below. And you could also join the Discord chat and the Facebook group. And the beautiful thing about it is all of those are 100% free of charge. So I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. As always, keep crushing the markets. Peace out.